Hello, this is Hot Indonesia, and welcome to all of you watching us in New Delhi. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta, and here is this week's HI Hotlist. It's time. COVID-19 cases are way down. How ready is Bali to begin welcoming international arrivals again? We asked Fransiska Handoko of the Bali Hotels Association. Glow Show is a nighttime light display, a good thing for the country's major botanical garden. And STEAMY Love, why a man in Central Java married his rice cooker and told the world about it. Here are my co-hosts. Sandrina Malakiano is back. She is Deputy CEO of Polmark Indonesia from her home in South Tangerang. And Millie Lukito, CEO of the Mobiliati Group, on the road this week in Ubud, Bali. Hot topic number one, it's time. The announcement that Tourism Minister Sandi Uno said was coming in our show last week came Monday. Indonesia's premier resort destination will open again on October 14th to international arrivals. It's been more than a year since Bali welcomed foreign visitors. The reopening involves several countries at first, including China, South Korea, the UAE, and Japan. Now, everyone in Bali had been holding their breaths. It's been a long struggle to survive the coronavirus pandemic, with 80% of the island's revenue related to the tourism industry. Sandrina, begin with you. Thankfully, now the rebuilding can begin.
Yes, this is the time the Balinese people have been waiting for way too long, Dalton. The reopening of the island. The wheels of economy there have stopped moving for so long. We all know that. So the pre-opening of Bali for international tourists would surely become that much-needed grease to lubricate those wheels. For example, Dalton, seen from a regional financial perspective, from 2010 until 2018, the Regency of Badung in Bali was the most independent regency in Indonesia. Its local government revenue ratio has been the highest in Indonesia, higher not only compared to other districts or regencies, but even defeating other provinces, including the capital city of Jakarta. Now, this pandemic has thrown the Regency of Badung and Bali in general from reigning at the top of the scale to one of the lowest. The district-owned source revenue or pendapatan asli daerah plummeted until 90%. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, no, revenues are down across the board, not just in that area. Yeah.
But from the top until the lowest, 90% off. And as we have discussed many times here on Hot Indonesia, the people in Bali are facing such difficult situations.
Yeah, and you just came back from Bali. Millie is in Ubud right now. Millie, from what you see, I know it's just a kind of superficial looking at the situation, but from what you are seeing, how depressed is the situation and how critical is this reopening in your eyes?
I think the reopening has been a very a breather for a lot of hotel owners, especially because, as you know, the Bali economy has been contracting at a minus 10% each quarter for the past 2 years. A lot of people are feeling the squeeze, and they are all hoping that the 14th of October will really be open as it can be for all international arrivals. And Bali is now very ready because 70% have been vaccinated, and they understand the protocols of the health protocols. So they really look forward to the real opening and to the real international arrivals, Dalton.
Okay, well,
if I may add to that a little bit, Dalton.
Let's get to our guest, Sandrina. Let's get some insights and input from someone who's there in the middle of the business operations. Yeah. Fransiska Handoko is Director of Government Relations at the Bali Hotels Association. She is also General Manager of the Risata Bali Resort. Fransiska, thank you very much for joining us. First of all, the question again, how ready emotionally and operationally is Bali for October 14th?
So for Bali, we are ready. Emotionally, we have been waiting for this moment to come. There are a few stages that we still need to overcome until the 14th of October, because at this moment, as everybody knows, there are quite a lot of hotels that are still on the sleeping mode. So we have to be better ready for our property and our facilities to be open again.
How, we talked about the damage. I mean, you're with the hotels group. How bad was the financial damage in terms of, damage overall in terms of revenue and people, human resources?
It's very damaging. It's very damaging because, like, if you take a look at the open unemployment rate here in Bali, I think the first quarter, the number is, hold on, I have to see my notes. So as of February, like the open unemployment is 5.42%. That's open unemployment, which is like you got laid off, right? So most of the tourism industry worker, it's not being laid off, but it's on sort of like a pausing stage, which is like unpaid leave. So that's sort of like a closed unemployment rate. So meaning that everybody is just like most of our staff just like going back to the country, like to the kampung, so back to their village, opening small business like UMKM, like the industry, like house industries, and everybody's just trying to survive. And then if we are going back on track to open all the hotels, meaning that there will be going to be a lot of supply and demand for the employees. Like many hotels for sure will not be able to suddenly get all their employees back. So it will be stage by stage.
Yeah, but it's a welcome problem to have, getting your things staffed again. Millie, question for Fransiska.
Fransiska, do you think Bali can ever be normal again? Can ever be 100% recovered after all this?
I think that's going to be a very long way to go. So it's not only Bali, but I think it's everywhere in the world, basically. So when are we going to be 100% normal? Because the normal now, it's not the normal we used to know. Like in every hotel, I think we all know that the sequence of services are 100% changed because of the pandemic. So if you ask me, are we going to be normal again? Yes, for sure. But when? We don't know.
Sandrina, question?
Yeah, as mentioned by everyone, the reopening of Bali is surely such a breath of fresh air. But what I wanted to actually underline before is that the question now is how many international airlines would want to fly to Bali or Jakarta with this new regulation that limits the number of incoming passengers to only 90 people per flight. They would not survive. But aside from that, Fransiska, I know that
but Sandrina, I read that they lifted that limit.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
That's lifted already.
Yeah, that's good to know because that doesn't make sense actually. It doesn't go in line with the government's program. And it's also good news that Fransiska, Indonesia will be hosting the G20 summit in 2022, and Bali will be one of the main venues for many of the upcoming G20 meetings. But I heard from reliable sources who came to Bali to conduct facility inspections that they found many hotels and resorts, even 5-star rated ones, are actually not ready. Some have maintenance issues. The ceiling had bad leaking stains. No standard personal sanitation amenities provided in the rooms. Rooms were not sealed for protection after being sanitized. No special toilets for disabled guests. Now, what's your opinion on this, and how can we get the hotels ready to meet the required standards in 1 month? I heard the G20 activities will begin end of this year.
So for the past few days, I've been in a meeting with the head of Bali Tourism Office, Pak Putu Astawa, and also Vice Governor, and also other stakeholders, starting from the airport, and then PHRI, and then we have all the immigration people, customs. So everybody's just have this. We are trying to make the standard operating procedure for the combined Bali, right? So the trial for the G20 will be on December, right? So for the airport open itself on the 14th, actually, we are still waiting for the new regulation because as Sandrina mentioned, there are still the regulation It's Permenkumham number 34, which means that it's a very limited visa type. It is allowed to come to Indonesia. So by stating countries coming to Indonesia, there are still a lot of confusion. Is that the origin countries of the airlines? Is that the nationality of the guest? Is the visa type going to be different? Because like based on the existing rules and regulation, it's still Permenkumham number 34, the business essential visa. So it's in the past few days, there are a lot of movement. So today we will be having another meeting. So hopefully in a few days, it will be resolved and we will be having a trial starting from arrival, hotel until departure on this Saturday. So regarding the hotel condition itself, as we all know, most of the past 18 months, many hotels are closed, right? And sleeping mode, that's what I was mentioned before. So on this sleeping mode, we have been trying to shout to our government, please, where's the Dana Hibah, right? The second Dana Hibah. Like on the 2020, we were able to survive because we have this tourism grant, if you remember. So that helped us a lot in terms of the operational side, taking care of the properties, paying the employees' salary. So we do hope that this year we will be able also to get the tourism grant, which is already canceled based on the news. So we are still shouting to the government, please help us, please help us.
Yep, and less than a week away from the Bali revival, the opening again. And by the way, G20 scheduled for November of 2021, the major summit. Fransiska Handoko of the Bali Hotels Association, thank you very much and best wishes to you and all your people in Bali. Hot Indo will continue shortly with Glow Show. Do we want our botanical treasure lit up like Singapore?
Turner and welcome to Yoga Bliss. Dropping your hands to the mat, just step it back and out and up to the side. Up through your fingertips. Reach your right hand back behind your head. Let your hands separate forward and then start.
Yoga Bliss, only on the Indonesia channel.
Playlist.
Semuanya perasaan rasa cinta ku persembahkan untukmu di dalam lubuk hatiku. Tolong lihat aku dan jawab pertanyaanku.
You are watching Hot Indonesia with Sandrina, Millie, and me. Here's hot topic number 2, Glow Show. Plans to revitalize Southeast Asia's oldest botanical garden have been getting a thumbs down. A multimedia nighttime light show has been proposed for the Bogor Botanical Gardens in West Java, similar to one in Singapore, to attract younger visitors. Private management says it is studying the potential impact on the park, but the Jakarta Post reports that 5 former heads of the conservation area say the Glow Show and other development could hurt the ecosystem there. Now, Millie, Singapore's attraction is a big hit. Why not Bogor?
Of course, I'm 100% for it. I support the movement, the initiative. I remember, when I visited Singapore Botanical Garden nighttime, I really enjoyed the experience because I like the nighttime experience when your senses are more attuned to the peace, the tranquility, and listening to the small fountains. It's very beautiful.
Millie, I'm surprised. I actually thought you were opposed to this.
No, because it will attract younger visitors, correct? And the Bogor Gardens needs to be revived, to be revamped. And this is actually a very good solution, Dalton. And can you imagine the holiday lightings? Christmas lightings can happen now. Hari Raya lightings can happen. It's myriads of beautiful things.
I want to get back to you on that because I hear the voice of the other side there. Sandrina, it's always been a question of progress versus status quo. Shouldn't business be considered rather than resistance to change?
Oh, if you ask me, business should be considered, yes, but only if that business does not cause damage to nature, to the environment, to the ecosystem. I visited Kebun Raya Bogor many years ago. It's such a nice, peaceful place. Almost magical to me, Dalton, as I could feel the energy coming from those big old trees, the looks and sounds of nature there, so beautiful and unspoiled. Just the thought of seeing colorful lights and man-made noises, man-made fountains, concrete structures, huge boards with sponsor brands. Honestly, it breaks my heart. There are other ways to improve income from this amazing centuries-old botanical garden. Ways that are based on research proving that it won't disturb the natural living cycles of all plants, animals, and even insects there. They are the real owners of this park. They have all the right to be protected from all forms of threat, especially man-made destruction. Indonesia is weak in that sense. If you could prove it to the people, to the world, that everything that would be done there, I agree. This botanical park needs to be revived, needs an upgrade, but do it the right way, please. Indonesia has been so weak in this matter.
Yeah, I don't think a decision has been made. They say they're studying the potential environmental impact. I've never been there, but when I think of a botanical garden, I think of, a serene, peaceful place, quiet enjoyment, maybe reading a book under the tree, not lasers and music. Millie, am I too old school?
Yes. Let us all go back to historical times before the Bogor Gardens were even open for public. Can you imagine at that time the level of skepticism from not only government officials but from those who are the decision makers about the potential risk of opening the Bogor Gardens to the public at that time? And then they did, and it went well.
Oh, but Millie, the difference. The difference between Singapore and Bogor is Bogor, you just kind of put a gate and you let people go in and see nature. Singapore, they had to create that out of nothing on reclaimed land. So I think the comparison is not quite apt, and I think, like I said, I think the natural setting is what is attracting people.
Yes, and I believe there are ways to manage the risk. Of course, many ways to manage the risk, and it's up to the Parks and Recreation Department to decide that and to mitigate risk. But personally, I think this is the time for Bogor Gardens to receive younger visitors and getting press and news about how beautiful the gardens are at night.
Well, like the proposed development, we talked about it in Komodo for the Komodo dragon. There are always opponents. Sandrina, last point. What would satisfy you for what's happening in Bogor?
Definitely not this, because what they're going to do is totally not natural. I mean, there are no lights and sounds in the evening. They have to be in their natural surrounding, protected from this would be destruction. I mean, the nocturnal animals, their habits would be disturbed with all the lights, and the ones that live during the day and sleep during the night would be disturbed. It's going to be a chaotic disaster. And so for me, it's simple, Dalton. Maintain the park well, preserve all natural elements, protect all living beings there, the trees, the animals, the insects that help pollination process. Develop the park only based on adequate and valid scientific research to ensure no harm or damage. Make it naturally beautiful and well maintained. Promote it as well as we can. And visitors, students, many people will come to visit. That's a sure thing.
And we will report on the final decision on this program and then talk about it again. More Hot Indo is ahead. Steamy Love. She's hot with no drama. That's why this man married his rice cooker. Yes, he did.
Welcome to Foodiepedia. Every week in this program, I will introduce you to one of Indonesia's fabulous food items. Yummy. Beautiful. Now, I'm ready to cook. Let's go to the kitchen. It's done. Let's meet to eat.
Foodiepedia on the Indonesia Channel.
I'm Trần Minh Ngân, a visitor net Việt in Hanoi.
I'm Thairat Thomya of Thailand's Thairat TV in Bangkok.
I'm Monica Sambodet from the National Television of Cambodia in Phnom Penh.
I'm Raymond Go of Malaysia's TV3 in Kuala Lumpur.
I'm Glenda Chong of Singapore's Channel News Asia.
I'm Raisa Chantami of the Indonesia channel at the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta.
This is your weekly look into the dynamic Southeast Asia region.
ASEAN Today on the Indonesia Channel. The best of Bali, only on the Indonesia Channel.
You are watching Hot Indonesia from Jakarta. Here is hot topic number 3, Steamy Love. Khoirul Anam is like any other man. He wants a wife with the qualities, quote, fair-skinned, quiet, obedient, good at cooking. So he married his rice cooker in a small ceremony in Magelang in Central Java. But the chemistry didn't last long. I'm sorry to say he announced his divorce from that appliance 4 days later. Now, the rice cooker was a Philips brand, so I guess he likes international women. Of course, Khoirul was satirizing, ladies, the unimportant qualities that men often seek in spouses. Sandrina, I think he made his point.
Yes, sad, but in many ways this is true. I still hear many men say, Dalton, that an ideal woman in their eyes have to have fair skin or complexion, slim body, must be able to cook well, be an obedient stay-home wife, just exist to serve her husband and take care of the children. Well, I'm so blessed and grateful. I have a husband who I believe would be any woman's dream husband, as he respects women and does not have the stereotype way of thinking when it comes to women. So I know that Khairul Anam made that social media content as some form of joke or entertainment. And I truly hope that people in general, especially all men, could absorb the correct message behind his joke, that men should not degrade women to that rice cooker level.
Yeah, okay, but when you think about it, a rice cooker is the perfect metaphor for what many Indonesian men, as you said, Sandrina, consider a perfect wife, but Millie, that's Java man thinking.
Well, perfect metaphor aside, but to be honest, after reading this article, I'm thinking of marrying my mobile phones.
You already are married to your mobile phone.
No, but I want to make it official because, every time I go, please dial Sandrina, and it dials. I mean, it's so obedient, and it's so reliable. And I'm seriously thinking of marrying my 2 mobile phones. 2, not 1, but 2.
Wait. No, I guess, multiple marriages are allowed here. Okay, I would marry my vacuum cleaner. I like a tidy house. I don't know what that means. Okay, feedback time now. This post from Deander came from the YouTube page of our partner TV1. I never understand English in school. I only learn watching movies and listening to music. Well, that's how many young people learn, and by watching the Indonesia channel. And HI asked this after our debate on extending the president's time in office. Why is the media making it such a big deal when the president himself rejected the idea? Well, because his political supporters have the political power to push it through. Here's how to contact us with your feedback. Email at hotindo@theindonesiachannel.com or comment through our Hot Indonesia or TV1 Indo or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages. Final words, Amoshukab about the rice cooker wife, Sandrina.
Many places are reopening. I just returned from Bali a few days ago. Feels so good to see that events are starting to take place again. Still small-scale events, but I could see how so many people have missed the feeling of being with others, watching a performance. It was like witnessing places start to return to life from a very long sleep. Nevertheless, we should not let our guards down. Don't forget that we all still have to always be vigilant and adhere to health protocols. And for those who have not been vaccinated, get it to protect yourself and others. I can't wait to see Bali back on her feet again. And thank you, Minister Sandiaga Uno, for the partnership between the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy with the Indonesia Channel. So cool. I believe this cooperation will be mutually beneficial.
Amen. Final words, Millie.
Well, I'm here in Ubud as part of the hashtag Come Bali to support restaurant owners, hotel owners, and we are all hoping that 14th of October will be really the day of change for Bali. I'm really hoping, and visitors do come and visit Bali. We are back to normal, we are open, and we are here for you.
And my final words, the sports spotlight is on Papua at the moment, the host of the 20th National Games. Now, the president kicked a soccer ball around with Papua boys to open the event held every 4 years. But Joko Widodo must do more to give Indonesia's easternmost province help on issues of security, equity, and inclusivity. Otherwise, Papua will continue to feel kicked around. And that is Hot Indonesia for this week. For Sandrina Malakiano and Millie Lukito, I'm Dalton Tanonaka. Thank you very much for watching, and please join us again next time.